Bismillah, my name is Bashir. I am a member of Seymour University with Collaboration and our University Malaysia. And my ID CGSS0 CGSSO 000 68 86 for Abdulaziz Bashir Muhammad. Course code SMRM5203. Course name Science and Technical Research Methodology. Program Master of Project Management. Semester 3. Assignment of Science and Technical Research Methodology. Facilitator Dr. Yunus Ali. Research title is Impact of Unskilled Labor on Construction Project Performance in Mogadishu, Somalia. Firstly, what's labor? Labor also refers to the workers themselves, especially those who do practical work with their hand. Labor is a number of workers in the economy and the efforts they put into producing goods and services. Labor can be categorized into many different ways. Firstly, is by skill level. The most basic is unskilled labor that does not require training. It is usually manual labor, such as frame workers. It can also be surface work, such as custodial staff. The next step is semi-skilled labor, which may be required some education or training on example some manufacturing labors. Okay. Definition of a skilled worker. Skilled worker is someone who have a unique or talented training or information that they can apply to their jobs. A skilled worker may have studied at the university or college or technical school. A skilled workers, on the other hand, may have gained their skills on the job. This ability frequently leads to greater financial skills. Unskilled workers. Unskilled labor is one of the most plentiful resources in the emergency country, and it's heavy to help them achieve economic workers. As a result, the cost of this labor plays a crucial role in the selection and design of development projects. MC Labor 1997. Automatically, workers played is a significant role in the execution of the projects. The main difficulty that any project encounters including negative effects which involved from unskilled labor of it. In fact, the bad efforts from unskilled labor which disrupt a project's performance. They can be when he misused or diverted instruction given him. An example, once there was plentiful event which can unskilled construction workers mishandled by the marble and granite cutting machine. This had caused to get a serious wound of worker's hand. It also gave wounds to other unskilled laborers. It can cause the worker eventually to lose some crucial parts of his body. Sometimes unskilled workers may do not perform works as has already instructed to them by the control engineer. Visibility of such events without depth can cause project's performance to delay. Lack of opportunity in the future, disgrace of the company, and the unemployment of the workers. Influence. The rural people have migrated to the towns for seeking employment in order to survive, simple because nature, reserves, and man-made disaster had afforded to them to flee from their objectives. so that the largest numbers today. Unskilled workers, particularly those who come from rural area of southern Somali regions. These unskilled workers sometimes put their lives in danger by mishandling, misusing, or diverting either instruction or tools. Either instruction or tools. Okay, problem statement and research gaps. Construction laborers works in every phase of the building activity. Although laborers are unskilled workers, no building project could be completed with their work. Unskilled workers usually needed the site engineering to recruit for short period to do only jobs that are dirty, dangerous and difficult, but must teach such workers how they will perform works smoothly. In the last 2 decades, there are a large number of different families from different communities that Somali nations comprises as agricultural, coastal, and pastoral communities who migrated from countryside, rural area to town, urban area, like the capital city of Mogadishu. Prominent incidents which took place in the town and especially affected by the men from farming community, including when they started to earn their daily bread for construction projects. Therefore, the misable some of the instructor activities as tools and machines and has caused such unskilled workers to get wounds as well injuries. The main intention of the study is finding out how the most of the unskilled workers today are able to disrupt any building project's performance. Objectives of the study. The prominent objectives of this research are those clarified below. To shed a light on the how unskilled employee can affect the project's performance. To find out current unskilled workers who earn their daily bread from building of the house in Mogadishu. To mention or point out what happens to them while they misuse, mishandle, or divert instructor performance plus tools. To identify core causes of rural families and migrate to the urban area. To underscore how site engineering can recruit unskilled workers in order to avoid daily extra cost, lost time, amputation, or cutting of limbs, wounds, disgrace of the company, and dissatisfaction of the client. Question of the study. The question of the study: why so many unskilled workers who fled from urban area with certain occupations affecting and projects performance in the town? How the site engineers can avoid disgrace encounters the company and loss of the client? What is score of cause that unskilled worker to get wounded and injuries? Scope of this study. In the line of work, unskilled worker is someone who does not use logic or intellectual ability. These individuals are often found in manual labor occupations such as packagers, assemblers, apprentices, and agricultural laborers. Unskilled workers who does not have any practical skills or work or training. Any practical skills or training. The primary objectives of this current study are to investigate the unskilled labor and effects on building project performance. Construction site engineer building are seriously concerned with the lack of unskilled laborers productivity because of social and cost effects and physical related issues affected the performance of the labor. There are many challenges confronting the construction site. Unskilled laborers are one of the key challenges faced by the construction site. Unskilled as the skilled labor during construction plays in pivotal role in the enhancement of the project's performance. However, unskilled labor are one of the most unproductive labor type in the construction building that influence the project's performance. One of the major causes of the poor performance in the construction projects is unskilled labor. The key effect of the project performance is identified as a human error and a lack of skilled labor in construction. They may error in dimensioning using linear walls and mixed ratio of concrete in Mogadishu construction companies. Design of the research. For all types, the design of the research for all types, a researcher design can be mitigated. It can be summarized as systematically problem solving, thinking, and collecting data. Sanklin, as called Sanklin 2010. In the research design, is a method that a researcher adapts to conduct scientific study as a methodological way. It is the overall synchronization of the identifying component and data that leads to the reasonable conclusions. As a general plan for how you will respond to the researchers to think about researchers. Think about researchers. As a result, a survey is a tool strongly related to the present oriented approaches that are used to explore or look over a population by selecting sample and analyzing and uncovering various evidence. The primary goals or objectives of conducting a survey are to provide numerical description of the subject of the population. It can also explain some occurrences as they are were or will be in the future. The main reason I choose it is because of its quickly data gathering, cost-effective design, and capacity to understand populations from the small portion of it. Method of data collection. Data collection is a process of gathering data from all relevant processes in order to solve research problems, test the hypothesis, and assess the result. Method of data collection can be split into two categories. Data collection methods in secondary data collection and primary data collection. The researcher will be collecting data for his study using standardized questions. The researcher will be compose the statement or questions that will be included in the questionnaire. The questionnaire the questionnaire's question would be written by the researcher. Method of data analysis. Data analysis is science of analyzing a piece of data in order to develop conclusions about information in order to make judgments or simple to broaden one's knowledge on the variety of topics. Data analysis which will be focused on the uncovering data in the researcher finding, will be the most important elements of the study. Standardized questionnaire with standard and semi-standard questions is proposed as an abbreviation technique to turn the data into the valuable information. It will be examined using SPSS table, chart, and graphs to get a picture of the dataset. Descriptive statistics will be used to analyze it fastly. Data entering, editing, imputation for missing data and non-response data. With and the conclusion tabulations of the result would all be made easier with the SPSS programs. Result table in flow chart. This table, firstly, the start of the study. The secondary introduction and background of the study. Third, and problem statement of the researchers. And fourth, objective and questions of the research. Third, scope of the study. And fourth, literature review and methodology, data analysis, conclusion and recommendation, and the last is all citations. Conclusion. This study assesses and identifies the presence of unqualified workers in Mogadishu construction projects, as well as how construction companies manage various types of unqualified engineering construction projects. It also assesses the adoption of the project-based unqualified workers management process in Mogadishu construction firms, as well as the relation between unqualified workers project performance. The study goal is to determine and assess how construction business in Mogadishu adapted and utilized various project and skilled labor producers, as well as their experience with how to manage these unskilled workers process. The researcher, on the other hand, intends to explain how construction organizations adapted and used project-based unskilled labor management techniques. In order to do so, an explanatory research design was used. The researcher employee a questionnaire designed through interviews with construction company in Mogadishu as a project manager in Mogadishu to obtain the study of primary data. Furthermore, the researcher employed SPSS version 20 to analyze the data, performance and descriptive analysis to verify the presence of risk in Mogadishu construction projects, and evaluating the adoptions of the project and skills management methods in Mogadishu construction firms.